I don't have any problem with electric vehicles. You like an electric car, drive an electric car. You want to make electric cars? Absolutely, positively, make electric cars. Have fun. Knock yourself out. But the push, the desire, the fetishism of the electric car, how are we going to power all these damn things? That's a worthy question that no one gives an answer to. Welcome, everybody, to the Morning Rumble. How you guys doing? Good to see you on this Monday, presented by the good people at Americans for Prosperity. Look at that right there. That's what is going on. AmericansForProsperity.org. Be sure to check them out for yourself. Economic freedom, personal liberty. Yeah, they're good people. And that's why they're part of this show. So this has got a two-parter to it, right? So the first one was Joe Biden. The first one was President Biden putting out this idea that the entirety of the fleet. Here it is. The climate-friendly military. That was from the New York Post. Listen to this from Joe Biden talking about his plan.
One of the things I've found out as the President of the United States, I get to spend a lot of that money. I get to decide where, no, I'm not joking. And we're going to completely, we're going to start the process where every vehicle in the United States military, every vehicle is going to be climate friendly. Every vehicle. We're going to have no, I mean it. We're spending billions of dollars to do it. And it's going to matter. You know, it matters. You know, in my view, this crisis, as I said, is a genuine opportunity. An opportunity to do things we wanted to do and only now have become so apparent.
Never let a crisis go to waste. It's Rahm Emanuel. Never let a crisis go to waste. The follow-up to it is because it allows you to do things you normally couldn't do. That's what Rahm Emanuel said. And that's what's happening here. I don't care if we have electric vehicles. I care if it means we don't have readiness in military forces. I feel the same exact way about this as I did about when they were having the transgender conversation. Transgender people in the military. The only question that matters is, do transgender people in the military affect military readiness? The interesting answer I got from a couple people in the military, one in particular, is that no, they didn't feel that for their experience in the military that it was ever an issue of transgender, but there was certainly an issue of having women in the military that could affect readiness, because that was most likely to create some type of yeah, you get the point? It was a pretty interesting way to look at the conversation. I don't care if there are electric vehicles in the military. What I care is about readiness. And I am not interested in a military that's an agent of social change. As a matter of fact, I don't want it. I reject the idea that the U.S. military should be an agent of social change. That's not what the military is there for. The military is there to kill people and break things. And people who have an issue with this, I'm very sorry. I'm not here to participate. A well-organized, well-run, well-trained military is essential. First of all, it will bring about the most possible freedom or maintain the most possible liberty. It will be the most possible in terms of being decent and good at their job, as opposed to what we see from the Russian military, which is incompetent and also murderous and treacherous and violent. I am not saying there isn't a reason for your military to destroy the other military. But when you've got a military that's out there shooting innocent civilians for sport, that's not what I'm in favor of. I am not in favor of any of these social conversations changing the military. When we change the standards for soldiers because they're women or because they're older, we are hurting the military. That's just the way it is. That's not a debate. And that's not even a level of anger. That's just reality slapping us all in the face. So why don't we just say so? It is what it is, what it is. This idea of the military, this idea of having this all-electric military is not one that I favor. I don't favor it because I question out loud whether it affects military readiness. This I just can't favor at all. I don't even know what to do with this. I'm out of my head. I'm out of my head on this one. The all-electric Chevy Corvette. It's a Corvette. It's supposed to sound like a Corvette. And now we're going to go all electric on the there's going to be an electrified version and then an all-electric version. According to my sources, the all-electric version will be all-wheel drive. I guess this is what it's supposed to look like. This. I, again, have no problem with electric cars. You want to get yourself a Tesla, you go right ahead. I've never been anti-Elon Musk, right? I've never been that. And also, we should be clear, looks like this Twitter possibility, very, very possible. So Elon Musk secured the funding via Morgan Stanley of $46.5 billion to buy Twitter. And now Twitter is saying, all right, we're going to take a look at this. Because as we discussed, they have to take a look at it. They have a fiduciary responsibility to take a look at it. They don't take a look at this offer seriously. The stockholders sue because the board members literally own almost no stock, none whatsoever. So you have this, you have the reality that if they don't bring it before the shareholders and don't respond to their needs in terms of getting a pretty good premium on their stock, well, they're going to get sued into oblivion, personally and professionally. So now that the $46.5 billion is kind of locked, right? It's got the funding. They're taking a look at it. Twitter has got to be doing everything possible not to sell to them. Twitter does not want to sell to them at all. Just like I don't want an electric Corvette because it is the essence of American muscle there, Cody. I'm out of my head. It's ridiculous. You know what? I am anti-electric cars. I'm anti this. When they made the electric Hummer. Now, full disclosure, I drive an H3. I love it. I'm only angry the brand isn't back in Toto. I took over the lease for one when I lived in California. This is 2008 or 2009. I couldn't afford a car, so I took over a lease. I remember I took a one-way flight to Vegas, met the guy in the parking structure of the Vegas airport, which wasn't sketchy at all, signed the paper, and then drove it back to Los Angeles. That was my test drive to make sure it worked. It was white. It was fantastic. This one is blue. I think it is the most enjoyable car ever. Ever. It's funny, for everything, I totally dig General Motors vehicles. I have an H3 and I have a Cadillac. I love it. I love it. And when the brand went away, I was pretty sad. And then they came back with the electric Hummer. And I'm like, all right, it's shtick. From what I hear, it's absolutely fantastic and gorgeous. And I have no issue with it. But it's a Hummer. It's as long as it's got that feel, I'm okay with it. I don't know. Car guys, you tell me, how does a Corvette have the feel without the sound? Can you get the sound? Like the Tesla, every time I hear one, I'm really listening for it. I never hear it, right? It's silent. I want the sound. That's what I want. I got to admit, there's the issue, of course, with how these things get charged. We're seeing more and more people lining up for charging stations. It's going to cost more because we have to make the electricity somehow, and you're going to make that with what? If we were a nuclear-powered society, I'd be okay with this, but we're not. We're so anti-oil. We're so anti-gas. We're so anti-coal, as opposed to finding better ways, being smart about it. So desperate are some to make those other technologies, right? They need the wind and the solar to be right up here, but they're not up here. They're down here. But you increase the price of gas, and again, never let a crisis go to waste. Now this looks affordable by comparison. You get a lot of that as well. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Speaking of things I don't like, this was Senator Elizabeth Warren. in this conversation of not knowing how the economy works, when I talk about how they do these things with clean fuels, right? With solar and with wind, never mind all the birds that they kill with winds and wind turbines and stuff. They need the gas price to be high so they can push the electric nonsense upon us. And I have nothing against electric cars, but there is a level of nonsense when we think all these car manufacturers can go to this and somehow we have the ability to power them all without the oil. That's my point. But this is Elizabeth Warren telling us something different. Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, wants you to know how much she absolutely hates and despises you making a profit. Check this out.
We are in an uneasy economic moment, but I think talk of recession is way too early. We are doing better on unkinking the supply chain, and that helps. We also need to push back against the giant corporations that have decided not only are they going to pass along costs, they're going to take a big dollop of extra profits. And those are things that get our economy, I think the way to describe it is they get it out of whack. They get prices too high. We've got too many corporations that are doing too much profit gathering. But do keep in mind how strong many of the fundamentals are. The president has created 7.9 million new jobs.
Oh, the president has not created a single job. People went back to work. He has not yet created a single job. But companies are doing too much profit gathering. What the hell is that? What the hell is profit gathering? You mean making a profit? They're profiting too much. Companies are making too much money. And you, Elizabeth Warren, are angry about it because you hate corporations and the idea that there's private ownership of anything. You would nationalize every company, put it under government control, and that way things would be fair and equitable. Is this your argument? It sounds to me like this is your argument. Whoever votes for this woman is out of their minds. Seriously, Massachusetts, Ted Kennedy and now this, do better. Could you please? All right, at least you didn't vote for a murderer this time. Oh, too soon? I don't think it's too soon to remember that. I'm going to remember that all the days of my life. This is the nonsense, the hatred, and it's constant and it's consistent. The argument I have regarding electric cars is not that they are a problem. It's that this totality conversation that we're seeing from car manufacturers is based on fear, not based on really where a populace is. The populace is not anti-gas. The populace is absolutely willing to entertain electric. Your whole fleet doesn't have to be electric. Is it Volvo also that's doing this? It's not necessary. And we still haven't solved the problem. And this problem is going to get exacerbated. This problem is going to become big and bigger days, weeks, months, years ahead. Companies taking too much profit? It's no such thing. No such thing. Because for that to exist, for the idea of too much profit to exist, somebody has to decide what too much profit is. What's acceptable profit? And that creates the downward spiral into nothingness. You think I'm going to let Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, decide what acceptable profits are? I wouldn't let her decide anything. And usually she loves to decide, like she decides that she's Native American and she decides that it's okay that she lied about being Native American. I'm not there. I wouldn't let her decide what's acceptable profit for you or me. Yet she wants to. That is what she's saying. This is pure, outrageous hate right there. Outrageous, outrageous hate coming from Elizabeth Warren. I go to the comments right now. Hey, Chase, good morning to you, man. What's up? You can call me Tony. You don't have to call me Mr. Katz. Right there. Larry noting that Elizabeth Warren has no problem accepting $400,000 a year to teach one class. Is that what she gets paid? Does she get $400,000 to teach a class? I didn't know it was that much. So part of the reason why this happens is that the elitist views what they do as valuable to society. And they view what other people do as invaluable and to trash it because, after all, it's about them recognizing that they don't produce anything. The amount of professors who actually produce something for society, I think we could argue, after any bit of study, is a relatively small number of professors. The vast majority, they don't even have real office hours. They've never actually had to work hard. They live in these worlds, these university worlds that are palaces, and everybody genuflects. Oh, professor, yes, professor. Thank you, professor. Can I, professor? Would you please, professor? And they get good parking spots and everything else. So they don't live in the real world. Somewhere they know this, and somewhere they understand that they should feel guilty for such a thing. But on the other side of it, they're told that they're important. They're told that they matter. And they're told that what they provide is extremely valuable. After all, look at all the money you get paid for it because they know better. Did I explain that well? I mean, I think that's exactly what's going on there. This is Lee right here. What's up, Lee? The main difference between electric and internal combustion is that with electric, the fossil fuels are involved out of the driver's sight. Kind of an ostrich approach to green energy. If they don't see the fossil fuels, they assume they don't exist in the process. For the same reason why the taxes get taken out of your check with each paycheck as opposed to you paying them at the end of the year. Because if you actually saw what you paid, you'd revolt. No, you puke. It would be revolting. Or some mix. Same mathematics. I don't disagree. I do not disagree with any of that right there. I should drive a Hummer, but use 4 Priuses instead of tires. Oh, put a Prius under each. And dude, man, I don't drive a Transformer. I like the tires are huge, but I know. Like this year, I'm gonna have to replace some tires, and then I'm gonna lose my house. Those tires. Oh, by the time I need those tires are gonna be $300 a tire, $400 a tire. I haven't looked. I hope to be pleasantly surprised. It's gonna be sad, man. It's gonna be really, really, really sad. Battery operated tanks. Hey, Carson, what's going on? This is Biden saying that he wants to move the military into this way. Now, certainly one can hold out hope, and there's certainly probabilities, not possibilities, that there'll be plenty of things within the military that need gas and they're never going to try to make electric. Don't be silly. Just like there are things within the military they could create electric, and I'm fine with that. Absolutely, positively fine with that. It's forcing it. Forcing it is where the issue is. It's always where the issue is. And the force comes from a pseudo-intellectualism that you got to do this to show that you're good and that you're decent and all these things. It's not what it is. I don't think we're going to value from the electric Corvette at all or in any way. I had another piece of audio here. I don't remember which one this is. Can I just share it anyway? Hold on a second. Listen to this.
7 charges total.
I know what this is. All right, I know exactly what this is. All right. This is a sheriff in Florida. I just thought this was great. This is a sheriff in Florida who's talking about you being able to protect and defend yourself. This guy could win the presidency with this theory.
7 charges total. His bond's $157,500. And I want to say, as to the person, we don't know which homeowner shot at him. I guess they think that they did something wrong, which they did not. If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. So whoever that was, you're not in trouble. Come see us. We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save the taxpayers money.
How much do you love him? We prefer that you do? Now, some people are going to get on my case. They're going to get on the sheriff's case. How dare you? You're promoting violence. No. Put the criminal on notice. You break into someone's house, you're probably going to get shot. And let the homeowner know that they absolutely have the right to protect and defend themselves and the ones they love. Why? The criminal's in charge? The criminal has some kind of special consideration we have to care about? Screw them. They're criminals. Tell them to stop being criminals. Just that easy. Don't break into people's houses. Don't steal other people's stuff. This is 101 stuff, guys. Simple, simple, simple. I just enjoyed that. So I needed a little bit of enjoyment to go along with the show. Show's going great because of you. Make sure you tell all your friends to go to Rumble. Rumble.com. Tony Katz. Make sure to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, do that right now. We want to get much, much more. Ham Sensei saying on Rumble, that was awesome, right? Is that Sheriff awesome? That's unbelievable. Sarah, if we haven't released that video, do that. We take all the videos I utilize in the show, all the sound clips. We put them out on the Rumble channel. So like there's so much really cool stuff that we have, really cool clips. We should actually take those Rumble videos and share them to the Facebook page as well. But we really try and get a lot of stuff out there so people are seeing what's going on, seeing it for themselves, hearing it for themselves. But we want to get Rumble and what we're doing here just ubiquitous. Millions and millions of people. So make sure you subscribe, rumble.com/Tony Katz, and make sure that you leave a little rumble, right? There's a place where you can leave a little rumble. Do that. That would be greatly helpful. And then share this. Share this on your social media feeds. Grab the link and share it via email or any other way that you might share. As a matter of fact, we'll start putting the link on the Facebook page so you can share the link. And then we want to build that up and build that out that everyone can see everything that's going on. Any other comments I need to get to before I go? This is Susan, who agrees with the sheriff. Susan is in favor of the sheriff right there. So that's we're all in agreement with the sheriff. You're allowed to protect yourself and the ones that you love. Rumble.com/Tony Katz is where you go. Be sure to be a part of it. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to share it. I greatly appreciate it, guys. I'm going to do some radio, and I will catch you at noon at WIBC.com. Be good.